Um, yeah, we didn't feel that we played anywhere near where we can, but lots to be done down to Connor. Very difficult side to play against. They do make it extremely difficult for us, and I'm sure Munster will be no different. In fact, it's a pretty good introduction to what Munster can offer us.
It doesn't really get much bigger than kind of going into their backyards taking on Munster.
No, it's something we're looking forward to. We have been successful over there in the last couple of seasons. So we know what it takes to win out there, and it's going to be extremely difficult.
Can you just say a bit about what it is like to go out there and obviously it's incredibly passionate crowds when they got a full house there, and obviously 15 wins now bounce at their own venues, but you guys are the last ones to win there in the league.
Yeah, it's extremely noisy. It's not something that we come across too much in the league. So it's something that we've got to contend with. Extremely passionate. They have an ability to do stuff under the cosh. They're very difficult at the tackle contest, and it can be extremely frustrating out there. We try not to be too antagonistic towards the refs. That's the idea. We're frustrated. So we have to be clear on how we're going to approach the game. We have to be clear in the game plan, and be aware that at certain times in the game you are going to be under the cosh, and it's how you deal with those situations.
It seems to always have that little bit extra to win a game, or get away with certain things around the fringes and the rucks. Certainly not to win a game and kind of play the rest.
Well, that's why you hope when you go to those places you get a strong ref. It's a pretty intimidating place to be for a ref, because you've not only got the crowd on your back, but you've got 15 Munster players who are trying to ref the game as well. So you hope you have a strong ref who doesn't allow that to happen. So, but they do get away with it a lot, and good luck to them.
And obviously, like yourselves, they targeted this kind of block of games, so they wanted 6 wins out of 6. There's a chance for you guys to get quite a big cushion over them at the top if you get the win.
Yeah, it's you do look at this. Such a long season. You have to look at it in blocks, and it's we had a start where feasibly we could go through. This was always going to be the biggest test for us. But we have a group of young players who, quite a few of them wouldn't have been at Thomond Park before, and we're well aware that it's the first game in a while it's been at Thomond Park. They've played a lot of the other two Welsh sides away from there, so we're looking forward to going there. We always have a good reception, and hopefully we can get another win.
When you talk about the young players, how does that kind of play out? Does it mean there's no fear for them going there, so haven't done it before, or is it something that kind of occasion thing, that arena kids overall?
I think it's a certain amount of excitement. They were here. Munster are building up a great history for themselves. The stadium itself is becoming hard for anybody to go there and win. So they're obviously doing something right. But it's another great experience for these kids to go to a place where it is noisy, where it is intimidating, and it's probably the closest thing to test match rugby you can get, in terms of that sort of external factors.
Do you still expect that intensity without, obviously like yourself say, without a big core of the international players? Do you still think there'll be that kind of intense, real ferocious kind of game there?
Yeah. I don't think it makes a great deal of difference who's in the jerseys. It's a huge thing to represent the Ospreys, and it's a huge thing to represent Munster. So I don't think the intensity for 1 second will be any less than it would be. We don't consider ourselves to be any lesser for our international boys being away. It's a period of time we're used to dealing with. And obviously when the international boys come back, it's great, but we have to deal with it. And these boys are the cornerstone of a lot of campaigns in the league.
Munster last season were the pace setters, and some thought that they probably won the league is over the sort of March time, which was the league that they built. How much of that sort of momentum are you guys trying to build at this part of the season?
Like you say, you got to judge it in blocks. We certainly have, and like you say, we want to be there or thereabouts for the end. You know, everybody wants a home draw when the playoffs come. You know, first and foremost, you want to be in the playoffs, but when you're in the playoffs, you want to have a home draw. So you know, we had that 2 years ago and we won it, and that's what we want again. You know, whether we finish first or second, that you know is to be judged. But I think we're thinking too far ahead about trying to get X number of points ahead of yourselves. You know, this league can change very quickly in front of you. You know, we were going really well until the last 5-6 games of last season. So nothing's confirmed until the end of the season.
Munster have had 2 of the Welsh regions already over in Musgrave Park, but now they're moving to Thomond Park. Do you reckon is that almost like a compliment to you guys, that they see you guys as a threat and it's actually a big occasion?
Yeah, it is a compliment to us, and you know, that's been the reality for the last couple of years. Hopefully they do perceive us as a threat, and hopefully we are a threat. So, you know, so be it.
And how much will it be down to guys, you know, the senior guys in the squad, translating it to the younger guys, that when they go there, they're not afraid? You know, they might have seen the Queens win there last season, we'll have seen yourselves win there in the past. How important is the role of guys like you've got, these sort of guys? Well,
they're hugely important, and he's sometimes got to put Dan Bigger in that bracket as well. Even though he is a young kid, he's you know, he's been hugely influential for us during these first 5 games. Massively influential, and like you say, his experiences as a young kid are becoming pretty huge for us, and if Dan Bigger goes well for us, then we'll be thereabouts, you know. So I think he's been outstanding for us since Saturday.
You mentioned that playing for Munster is sort of the nearest thing in Ireland to Test match rugby, and then for the Ospreys the same in Wales. As a guy who played for us in the World Cup against Ireland, how much of a sort of parallel do you see between, you know, Wales Ireland Saturday morning and then you guys Saturday evening? Do you see that as something working in your favour?
No, I don't think it'll be any less intense either game. Like you say, it's hopefully we can get one up for the Welsh boys when they see the result. It would be nice to make it a nice Welsh weekend.
And then in that game we'll have an Ospreys flavour to it. You'll have Shane against Tommy Bowe. And how do you see that battle going?
Yeah, it'll be exciting. You know, I think Tommy's he's really coming back to being sharp again. You know, he's struggling with a few injuries the last couple of months, but he seems to be on top of his game again. But you know, I don't think anybody fancies Mark and Shane, do they? You know how sharp you are. He's I think it'll be a great game, and I think whoever wins it will get to the final. I do, I have a real strong belief in that. So hopefully it'll be Wales.
Any boys at training saying that they fancy to win the one-on-one between those two?
No, we're fully focused on Munster. I don't think we'll be thinking about too much else. But you know, they keep in touch with the boys out in New Zealand, and I'm sure they're wishing them all the best. As other Welsh boys wishing these boys all the best.
Obviously, it's mentioned the battle between Shane and Tommy. He's also winning the pack with you know, the Ospreys captain and the Munster captain probably going head to head there. How do you see that one playing out?
Pretty physical, I think.
Yeah.
You know, Alan Wynne is he's been the cornerstone of the Welsh pack for a period of time now, and they both line up. They both call for their countries too. So there's you know, there's a few similarities there, but you know, I'm sure Alan Wynne, you know, they rested him for the Fiji game. I'm sure he's raring to go there. But I think Paul O'Connell he's been outstanding for Ireland in this World Cup campaign. He's turned into a main ball carrier for them, and I think it's going to be an extremely close game, and you know, I think hopefully Alan Wynne will get the better of his battle with Paul, but like I say, 7 other forwards could determine who wins that personal battle.
I mean, going back to Munster, they've had a pretty good start as well. You know, what players have stood out for you, and you know, who do you see as their main threat?
Well, I think Peter Stringer has been outstanding for them. You know, he's a player who I've rated for a long time. So and you got Mick O'Driscoll who's always fantastic for them, and no matter what, they always seem to pull out very competitive back rowers.
Yeah.
And you don't see a difference in attitude or approach from when the Irish internationals are there where they're not. They're a very, very physical side who do play on the edge of legality, but that's the way it is. That's what you expect. But there's Matthew and there's Doug Howard and Keatley, the 10 who played very well against the Blues. So, like you say, I think they're as strong as they ever are.
I mean, you mentioned the Blues there. Can you take much from that game? Because the Blues smashed them every aspect of the game. Somehow didn't win it. I think it was only once Munster got into the Blues 22, yet they still won the game.
Well, I think that's a tribute to Munster. They have the ability to be out of games and still win them, and that's something that we've been pretty proud of in the last 5 games. We've been behind in games, haven't played well in games, but still won them. Treviso was a prime example of that in very testing conditions. So it's not necessarily how you play sometimes. It's the resolve that you have in your squad, and when you're up against it, you still have the ability to win those games, and that's what typifies Munster, and hopefully that's what people will say about us in the coming future.
One final one from me. John mentioned ahead of the Ulster game how it's kind of an aim to land a psychological blow on their title rival, obviously in season albeit, but UV, Munster, and as we said before, it would be a massive points difference if you win this game. Is it another opportunity to kind of, first of all, get the big scalp and inflict some real damage on their kind of ambitions?
Like you say, it's such a long season. We're obviously keen to go there to keep the momentum going in this place, first and foremost. We go out there and all of a sudden this place is on a real roll. So that, and obviously you will look at the table after this first period and see where you're sitting at. But like you say, we have such an ebb and flow of players in this environment. It's very difficult to predict any sort of consistency at times. So we hopefully get a few points in the locker. So it will put us in good stead for when the season comes to the end.
You must be delighted so far, 5 wins out of 5.
Yeah, we have. It's a little bit of the unknown in terms of some of the players that have come through. But we're probably quite happy with the resolve of this team. They showed immense character. And like I say, not playing top of the games but still winning, and that's important.
So, is there any interviews who's struggling or back in contention?
No, we're pretty good in that area. It's obviously after fit, there's a couple of sore bodies, whatever, but not generally we're in good health.